Hey y'all, this is Church from Church's Intake. So let's get into another topic. Let's talk about stop telling everybody every move that you're making, especially when you're in your purpose and going through your process. Stop trying to, you're leveling up and you're leveling up your enemies as well by telling them every stone or accomplishment that you had made it over. Getting to the destination that you're trying to get to. You got to understand that there are people out here that is looking to talk to you about the achievements that you made, how far you have progressed since the last time they've been around, you've seen you, in your presence or of that nature. So you got to stop telling everybody achievements that you have done, things that you plan on doing, and how you plan on succeeding in life, if that's what you're trying to do, or trying to elevate in your education and everything else like that. I see a lot of people on Facebook and everything like that, and it just shows that people are still just blind to the fact that there's some multiple people looking at your pages, and there's multiple enemies that you don't know, frenemies or whatever that may be, that's looking at your success, looking at your achievements. You're trying to get to another level in your life. And then you got to understand that sometimes you got stagnations, but you're causing the stagnations upon yourself because you're telling everybody what you're doing instead of just doing it and just letting it show itself. When you're giving them, these witches and warlocks, this type of ammunition, they're going to use it to the best detriment of you. They're not here to help you. They're here to stagnate and block you. And by you telling them achievements that you've did, if you got, new scholarship coming, if you got, you got more money coming, you got a raise at your job or something like that, or you just opened up a business or something of that nature, or, like, there's things that you want to do. You've been going to extra classes. You ended up getting a license. Say you wanted to get your CDLs. You finally got your CDLs. Now you want to be an owner operator, have your own truck and stuff like that. And then you're getting to these levels. And then you'll get to a certain level. It's like, yo, I achieved this, but why am I stagnant now? Sometimes the stagnation is because you causing it upon yourself. You talking too much. That's the biggest red flag out here. Stop talking so much. Stop telling the enemy what you're doing, because you're hurting yourself. You're making it harder for God to just keep on elevating you. The quickest way to elevation to the top is being quiet. You got to do it quietly. You know what I mean? Let people think like you broke, you don't have nothing. Let people perceive these things like, oh, you don't know nothing. Oh, you on the same level as me. Oh, you beneath me. Let them believe that. Go with it. Who cares? When you're looking for validation from somebody else, especially when you're trying to evolve and you know they're stagnant and you know that they're not trying to evolve, why even tell them? I know we were brought up this way to believe in that. You tell your friends and family things of good that's going on in your life. You met a new girl, you met a new guy, and that's a lie. Like, a lot of people ain't happy for you, especially if you got a family, right? So say you got a family, right? And a lot of people in your family don't have no significant other, or every time they get another man or woman like that, they always have, it's all toxic, or they have a fallout, you know what I mean? Some of your people in your family never been married. Like, you got a family that never really had, like, marriage is like a keystone in the family, you know what I mean? Like, most people in your family don't even get married or hold a relationship or a significant other of that nature, you know what I mean? A lot of people out here, they just being loose, run into another toxic relationship, run into another. So just imagine, like, you and the family, right? You about to you got a significant other now, you know what I mean? And you like, well, the way you think and the way you move about things, you put God into your relationship and everything of that nature, right? And things are going well. You don't think your family members is jealous and envious of you? You the one that's gonna have this good relationship and nobody else in the family got a good relationship or been married for a long period of time of that? Come on. And then you'll be, oh yeah, my wife does this, my husband does that, he do this for me, that for me. And then all of a sudden y'all having arguments and stuff like that out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Turmoil in your relationship. Now you praying to God like, God, what's going on? Da da da, this, that, and the third. And you should have just been more quiet. You know what I mean? There's always going to be tension. There's always going to be trials and tribulation, even when you have a great relationship. But when you got God in the play, you already know how to play. You know when both of y'all going up against each other, you know you're going to go to God, you're going to pray about it, and then your significant other going to go to God, and they're going to pray about it, and then y'all going to talk, and then y'all going to find out a solution. But there's people that's in your family that don't put God in their relationship. There's people in your family that probably don't even believe in God. There's people in your family that might be a whole different religion. You might be Christian, they might be Muslim. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it be. So if you already know that there's different things that's going on in this world, and it just lets me know that people aren't on that level yet. A lot of people believe that they know a lot of things, but as soon as I look on my Facebook feed and stuff like that, I already know that you ain't leveled up yet, or you ain't to the level of understanding of knowing that you need to be more quiet. Because if you are elevating, you learn quick. Oh, if I want to keep elevating, I gotta learn how to keep my mouth shut on certain things. Certain things you ain't supposed to be talking about, especially when you're elevating. You talk about when you're finished. You could talk about certain things, and God even tell you, like, I want you to tell the people about this situation that you already went through, that you already completed, that you ain't got to worry about nothing else happening under them that circumstance, because that chapter's kind of closed. I'm gonna let you speak on that. And then there's other things that's like, yo, I'm still growing, I'm still elevating, I'm still trying to make it to whatever level God trying to get me to. Let me keep my mouth shut. Let me help God out a little bit. We got to learn to let God do him and let him help us out. Sometimes you got to just close your mouth, and people aren't, it's not being ignorant, or it's not being like, I'm better than you or stuff like that. It's just being aware. It's your discernment, being discerning of others, of what other people are capable of doing to you. You might be the nicest person in the world, and someone tells you some good news, you're going to be like, yeah, I hope all goes well. I'm going to bless you, you know what I mean? I'll pray for you or whatever. But everybody ain't thinking like that. Majority of the people don't think like that. And I used to be a little naive too, telling people, oh, I'm going to be this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. And yeah, I was doing it, but then stagnation was coming. It wasn't like I was completely stagnant and wasn't able to maneuver and stuff. It was just harder. And I could say it myself, I was causing some of the hardships on myself, because I'm telling other people that I thought I trusted in movements that I'm making, and no. Sometimes you can't tell these people the moves. You can't be telling all your moves. This is a game of chess. You have to be strategic. You can't just be out here blabbing away. Oh, I get this much money. Oh, I do all that. Oh, that's one of the first things you kind of learn in the work field. If you're a young head and you don't know, one thing you don't talk about is money. When you talk about money, people start getting real funny, and they be like, oh, you could be at the same job, you could be at the same position, And you might not have been there as long as this other guy's been there. You might make more than them because of how the company goes, that, the raises have to go up. Now the starting rate will be basically what they make, or even maybe a little bit more. Now, if you tell one of your coworkers that you're working with, y'all doing the same exact job, and this coworker believes that they have more knowledge than you in that same field that y'all working in, doing the same job, they're gonna try and find a way to get rid of you, or they're gonna be hot. They're gonna be jealous, and they're gonna do what they can do to try to make it way more difficult than it needs to be by you telling them what you make. People in the work field know this, especially working in industrial, when they got like unions and stuff of that nature. Like, you gotta understand, I never really liked the union like that, because it's kind of like some things you can hide, and then there's other things you can't. Like, when you at that max rate, they all at the same max rate once they get to that max rate. But by you telling them that you at your max rate, it's like you can kind of, as much as you can, try to not tell them, like, yo, in my field when I was, working as a union guy, they had like 3 levels of electrician, and then they had 2 tech levels, right? So you kind of want it to be like, once you came in, so if you came in a little bit lower than like, the tech level or whatever, you'd be like, yeah, I'm just a level 3. And now you might have been like, you passed your level 3, you got your first tech, you try to keep that under a radar, then you get your top pay, tech 2 level. So they be like, yo, and then your boss man be like, yo, send you, they'll send you like, I just learned this. I've been watching, the next person, train me up. I'm just trying to get ready. You know what I'm saying? Hit them with, I'm just trying to get ready to be on that next level, but I ain't there yet. I ain't getting the pay. I'm just doing the work, but I'm not getting the pay, knowing you're getting the pay. Now, you ain't purposely lying, but you purposely not telling them what you doing or where you at, because you already know that there's jealousy and envy, especially if you make $5-10 more than them. It's going to suck. They're going to, well, why don't you just do everything, And it's just, sometimes you got to learn to not speak, especially as we seeing people that were like, oh, I just got this new job, I'm doing this, telling the location and everything. Is just like, yo, there's a lot of witchcraft going on right now in these streets. And if you're not aware of it, you're going to be a mark. So don't be a mark. Don't be telling people your next move. Just move in silence. I be trying to be like discreet about it, but I know for sure on my Facebook feed, I don't talk like that. I talk about, the goodness of God, building yourself up, making yourself, elevating yourself. But me telling you to elevate yourself ain't telling you what I'm doing. I'm not telling you what level I'm on. Because if I was to tell certain people what I'm doing and how I'm leveling up, people gonna be mad jealous, mad crazy, and I don't need all of that in my life. Just like I'm trying to tell y'all don't want that smoke. I like that. Forget the stagnation, just elevate, and forget that. Try to elevate as quick as you can, because there's always going to be trials and tribulations, even though you're going through. You already got basic trials and tribulations just because of what you're trying to do. So just imagine you got other people out here, doing root work and all this craziness, on top of what you already got going on. It's just madness. You don't want that. You want to try to make it as fast and painless as you can. So I be trying to tell people, stop, don't. But, everybody to each his own. They're going to learn their own way, So that being said, it's just diabolical, man, that people don't realize, like, some of them, themselves. You're doing it to yourself. For some of y'all doing it, causing stagnation, causing progressions, and longer term elevation, when if you was to just be quiet, it would happen a lot faster, you know. There's a term called what is it called? It's called it's like success. It's called almost success syndrome. Like, these witches and warlocks be like using to try to stop you. They be using this to, like, when you're almost at the finish line, they use, you know, manifestations to try to stop you. And it's like a success, like never making success, you know. They don't want you to make it, so they want you to have like that almost success. They don't want you to make it through. And the reason that some of you guys aren't making it through is because you're giving them the ammunition to keep on warring up against you. And you gotta stop that. Because if they don't have no ammunition, if they don't know what you're doing, they don't know what to pinpoint to come against you, if you understand what I'm saying. How could they truly affect your progress and your progression, that's where you're trying to get to, if they have no insight, you know? But it's like an almost success syndrome. That's what they want you to be, in stagnation. So you be like, oh, I almost got it, but they don't get there. And that's what these witches and warlocks be trying to do. You know, they want that. They do root work for it. You can believe it or not, but they be doing root work for like that to happen to you. You know, so you just gotta know that there's a lot of wicked people out here. And the closer you get to God, and the more God starts to grow you, you start to learn that a lot of people, and you'll realize the reasoning of the flood wasn't just because there was giants, and there was giants out here taking over the land, you know, trying to cause people to not be humans anymore. They were trying to take out the human race. But there was a lot of killing amongst humans, with humans, and the entities, you know, the fallen angels, the watchers. They were using us to fight against us. So I'm gonna leave that one right there. You know, just stop telling people what you're doing, man. Just do it. Just finish first and then talk, if that's the case. If you really feel like you need to talk, or, you know, express, you know what I mean, or show your gratitude to God, finish first and then talk. So I'm gonna leave that one right there. God bless.